Hey guys, happy Monday. So the kids don't have school today, and so we had orthodontist appointments, and we just got back home from that. And then we have a school board meeting tonight, so got to get ready for that and run everybody home because everybody had somebody spend the night this weekend. So hopping on here for a quick DIY project with you. So I looked out, and all the pieces that I had of these little spindles are already the correct size. So I didn't have to cut any down just because I happened to get those these on a pick recently. But what you can really easily do is take the longer spindles that would have been from a staircase or even skinny table legs, and you can cut those up into little chunks so that you can make ornaments. Or I just saw, actually on my way home from the wrestling tournament yesterday, somebody was hanging up some on her front porch in her garland. So instead of hanging like a bulb down or some of those bells down, she was hanging some big spindles. So almost even like a chunky table leg. And hers were all painted like red and white for sure is what she had. So you could paint these little guys, or you can leave them all natural, kind of whatever goes with your color scheme. But these were probably from a little piece of railing that would have been probably something decorative on a porch, not actually like railing. Sorry for Bella. Hi, Myra. It must be more than Bella because the dogs are going crazy. So one option that you have is to take a drill. And I actually used a bit larger than this, quite a bit larger, and I drilled out that hole. I bet it's UPS or the mailman because the dogs go crazy when they're here. So I went ahead and drilled a big hole. The reason I did that, we're going to do two where I drilled a larger hole, and we're going to do two a different way. So remember how one of my projects, I can't even remember. Oh, I think the candy cane ribbon wreath. I had mentioned that I had gotten a big needle in case I needed it for that project and just to have on hand. So what I did was I bought this ribbon to use for projects for this 25 days of Christmas. And so all I did was threaded it through this big needle, and then what we're going to do is thread it through that hole. I was trying to make the hole small enough that it was discreet, but obviously it needed to be large enough so that I could fit the needle with the ribbon through it. So this is kind of like a burlap look ribbon with some red stitching, and all we're doing is I threaded it, and then you kind of need to decide how long you want your ribbon to go so that you can then hang it on a branch on your tree, or you could do it like the person I just saw putting it on their porch. You could hang them in your window, and I'm using my crappy scissors again, and I am cutting it on an angle, okay, just because that makes it look a little bit more polished. And then we are going to, instead of just tying it in a knot, I'm going to loop it and then draw my ends through just to kind of give it a little nicer look. Tighten that up, okay? And so then you can hang it like this. You can hang it and use this on the branch, or you could add a little metal hook and put it in there and then hang it on the tree. So there you've got a little ornament. So we can do the same thing with this one. The nice thing about this big needle is that it does have a big hole that you can thread through it, and we could use some twine. And then I forget what this is called. It has an actual name, this black and white thread. So it'd kind of be whatever coordinates with what you have going on your tree or wherever you're going to put it. You could also, or I could also, you know how I was really wanting the white birch logs for the plant planters, winter planters that I did, and then also for the truck, you could easily take some big table legs or spindles and paint them and then use them in your planter or landscaping piece as well. So I'm going to clean off this end, cut it off because it's starting to unravel. And then kind of doing the same thing that I did with the ribbon, as far as I am not going to take the two ends apart and you know, tie it like you would tie your shoestring. I'm just going to loop it more like you would tie a balloon. Close off a balloon, make the hole and bring it through. And then I want to bring my knot up to the top. So a different look, same concept, and you can do it whatever to color coordinate with your tree. So then another way that you could do it, I didn't drill any holes on these. They have some, you know, old nail holes from when they had their top and bottom runner, but I have these little eyes, and these are rusty, and then I have a whole bag of shiny new ones. So supposedly you can soak those in vinegar, and the vinegar is going to make it have this rusty look. I've seen that on HGTV, although I'm not sure if it works or not because I have not tried it myself. These rusty ones are just off of things like, let's say I find a picture or a picture frame, it doesn't have the wire anymore, or maybe I want to put a sawtooth hanger on it instead of having these two on it with a wire between it. Because when you hang stuff with a wire, yeah, it's easier because you only need one nail, but depending on where these eyes are, the picture can kind of hang off the wall in a weird way, if you know what I'm talking about, or a mirror too. So what you're going to do is you're going to stab this into the middle, and we're just going to start turning. Hopefully this wood is soft enough that I can get it started, but I did put a little bit on here, or a little drill end on there to go ahead and, you know, make myself a starter hole, but I think this wood is soft enough that it's just going to go in there on its own. And what you can do as it gets harder is, I have that sharp, an owl is what it's called, but you could do like a screwdriver or anything to help you screw it in there tighter and all the way, because you're going to get to a point where your fingers aren't going to work anymore. So then you can do it this way, and we could do the same thing with our black and white, or here, we haven't done one with the twine yet, so we can do one with the twine. And then pretty much the same thing, you can make it whatever length that you want for your string, and you're going to tie it off. And then you have yourself another ornament. So these are probably similar because they're the same size string. So you can see it's just giving you a different look by doing it, attaching it in a different way. So we're gonna do one more here because I have one more lying around. But any decorative wood piece you could totally do this with, or take some spindles. You know, certain shapes are going to look better, I think, as an ornament that's this style. And you want to try and get it going in there straight. I'm not sure if this one is going straight. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I don't feel like this one's going. So when I'm using my fingers, I'm kind of pushing, and sorry about Cummins. You like those Susan Baker's twine? Thank you, Susan. I knew it was something, I just couldn't remember. Hi, Vicki. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Joanne says, vinegar, no worky for me. Muric acid will rust it. So I had somebody try to, you know, the galvanized water troughs that we're always turning into different things. I had somebody have a new one, and I suggested, you know, dumping some vinegar on it and letting it set and seeing what it did. And they didn't have any luck with it rusting, but I didn't know if it was just because it was that. Because I've seen it on multiple HGTV shows. I can't tell you specifically which show I was watching, but that was what they had used. I've also just used clear like sealer or spray, and then sprinkled cinnamon on it, and that will make it look like rust, and it smells good. So when I'm tying these off, I'm making sure that the pretty side of the ribbon is out, and then I'm matching up my ends as well, and then doing what I'm gonna call like when you tie a balloon. So Carrie, you like this idea? Yeah, and it's super easy, and you can paint them if you want. And you know, really, one nice thing about it also is that, let's say you paint them one color. If you do paint the spindles, paint them one color one year, and the next year you can paint them a different color. You can change out your ribbon year from year depending on what you do. So those are the two ways that you could attach them. And again, I'm big on not buying anything new and just using the things that you have laying around. So if you don't have any of those eyes laying around, then you can just drill a hole really easily as well. So super easy. Deborah says vinegar and salt does it. So that would be something to try. I wonder why you need the salt added to it. Maybe that's something that they did on HGTV that I did not remember about. So, all right, well, good luck. If you make some ornaments, share some pictures with me. Tag me if you know how to do that, or just send them directly to me. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Hi, Rachel.